Hello everyone, my name is Prism, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So yesterday we had Minecraft Live, or actually, this past weekend. I'm recording this on Sunday, but the update comes out on Tuesday. But yes, guys, they announced the release date of Minecraft 1.21.9, The Copper Age, which will be releasing on September 30th of 2025. And in today's video, I'm going to go through a lot of the new features. The big main gameplay features and the big technical features that are easily accessible, like the new Gamerules and new particle. Not going to get into the mannequins and all the back-end code stuff, but it's going to be kind of a quicker just review of a lot of the new features. So, let's begin. Beginning with copper. Now, copper is a wonderful building block. It's even more of a wonderful building block now because they've added the copper chest. And you can hear them in all their glory. I can even turn this up a little bit. Just listen to that noise. Beautiful. But yes, we have copper chests, copper bars, and copper torches. Now, these can be craftable with a crafting table. If I just pull one out right here, let me make sure my GUI scale is all the way up. Yes, it is. Alright, so look up a copper torch. 1 stick, 1 coal, 1 copper nugget. That's how you make it. So those have been added. But they've also added in the shelf, a brand new building block for item organization. You can see the recipe right here. And if I go over here, we have a list of 3 shelves. Or, yeah, quickly, here's the recipe. It's stripped logs on the top and bottom. But here, we have 3 shelves. Now, if I want to just take some items and go like this, I can put them wherever I want. But obviously, that's not that fun. You know, it is fun, but you can do even more with it. So, I'm going to quickly put these back and show you the power of connectivity with shelves. So, if I press this, all these shelves are now connected. And now, if I take all of these items, I put the whole inventory. Every single item, it does not matter where I start, they all go in the order of my inventory layout. And this is so cool. This is a really nice building block. I have to give props to Mojang for this. This was not expected, but it's really cool. It's really easy to access. And yeah. Oh, also we have a pig. The pig is guest starring in the video. Or I think it's camera shy. Anyways, let's continue onwards with the copper iron bars, or not copper bars, the copper lightning rods. These are the same as they used to be, but they are now with different variants. And obviously, they will oxidize over time. Now, if you're wondering why they aren't oxidizing, I turned the tick speed off, but you also have the waxed variants. Oh, and I forgot these. We have copper lanterns as well. Yes, I accidentally forgot the copper lanterns in my setup. But if we go back over here, you can see copper, exposed, weather, oxidized. So we have all 4 of these lanterns, all 4 of these bars, chests, torches. They gave us a whole field of new features to use. Though I should correct myself, there are no variants for the copper torch. There is only the 1 variant. But still, it's cool to have a new green type of torch in the game. Now, Mojang, if you do an end update, please add a purple torch. A purple torch would be beautiful. And we'll actually go to the end in a little bit. Not for big features, but there is one little visual update they added. But we'll talk about that soon. So, we have that. We have the copper bars, which I should show you. Why am I calling them copper bars? I mean the copper lightning rods. They kind of look like bars, but they're not. So, if I go here, you'll notice, that's the wrong recipe. You'll notice the recipe is still the same. They just oxidize over time. So you can't craft these ones. You can only wait for them to oxidize. But I think that's fine. You know, I think it adds some flavor to your build. I believe the oxidization will actually be removed if they're struck by lightning. We are going to test this theory. So if I summon a lightning bolt, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see here, it waxes off its own oxidization, which is pretty cool. We also have all these new copper items in the game. We have the copper nugget, the tools, and the horse armor. Now, the copper tools are basically a substitute for iron. Like, they're in the middle of stone and iron. So, they can't mine, like, diamond ores and stuff, but they are a little bit faster. So, I'll show you an iron pickaxe with some cobblestone. They might be a little bit faster. I actually don't remember, but if I go here, there. So, a little bit faster, but once again, I can't mine these with a copper pickaxe. I will get nothing back, but I can mine them with an iron pickaxe. So, it's a very, very slight difference. I have my honest thoughts, and I will put them as this. This feels like bloat. This feels like Mojang, we're just trying to come up with an excuse for you to mine copper, when copper was introduced as a material that didn't need really a deeper purpose. It was for building, it was for the spyglass, it was for lightning rods, it was for these more, like, build-related things. We didn't need copper tools and armor, and I honestly don't think they should have added it, but whatever they did, we have it in the update. Not my job to be that negative here. I'll talk about my bigger thoughts on Minecraft Live at the end of the video. But here's copper armor. You can see it looks very nice, very, very professional, very, very formal here. Unfortunately, Mojang did not take the time to make it oxidize as it loses durability, despite the fact that would be gorgeous, but, you know, whatever. I guess Mojang are working on other things. But, even more than that, we've got the big feature of the update. This is the one everyone's going to be talking about. This is the big one, right here. Oh yeah, also copper horse armor. Looks very beautiful. Really like the texture of it. I can't remember if you can craft the copper horse armor. It's actually been a bit since I've messed with it. So let's see here. Can I craft copper horse armor? I believe I can only find it in chests. So, yeah, copper horse armor can only be found in chests. But, that's fine, because we've got one big feature to talk about. The copper golem. And you'll see right here, we have the stuff to make it. This is a spawn egg, very cute. Why did that not work? Oh, right, because I used the wrong block. How silly of me. No, you don't use a copper chest to spawn the copper golem. Also, I didn't notice it had this back texture. This is very stylish, I like it. But look at this. Alright, so here's how it works. Supposing it didn't freeze itself. So if I break this chest, and I tell it to go over here, what it's going to do, each one of these have a mineral, and it is going to take 16 at a time. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute, because there's something new here. But, look at this. It will take 16 of each material and put it in each chest. So it'll go through iron. Now, of course, this is a little bit boring, so let's do some other golems. Let's do 2 more here. Oh, they're all gonna go for iron, aren't they? Wait, why are you going for that in there? Oh, nope. Alright. So will that one correct itself? It should. It should. Like I said, this is a little bit chaotic. I'm sure there are way better ways to demonstrate their functionality. But you get the idea that they are just going over to the chest and they're putting in all the gold. And that one now is my diamond, so they're going to go over to the diamond chest once they find it. I like how they look and they do their little head turns and everything. It's very cute. Very, very wholesome. Just very cute energy, very cute vibes. You can see here... Oh, I just took his diamonds. I'm sorry. I did not mean to take your diamonds. Actually, those are my diamonds, so I have every right to take them. But, no. They will very slowly just put items in. I mean, they're rather efficient, but obviously, I don't think I have it set up to where they are as efficient. But, yeah. There's nothing else in the chest, so they can retire. Alright, go on. Actually, I want to do something. So, Gamerules, random tick speed. Did I turn random tick speed off? Let's go 1,000. I want you to see something. They are meant to oxidize over time. Oh, did I set it? Oh, should do 1,000, maybe. Basically, if they oxidize over time, they turn into copper statues. And you can see these statues in the inventory here. These are building blocks. And you can actually turn them back into copper golems. But here they are. They look very cute. I don't know why that feels really weird. The golems don't oxidize with tick speed, but the statues do. Anyways, let's go back to random tick speed 3 so I can actually show you this. So, if I have these here, then I do this, copper golem, copper golem, copper golem, copper golem. Alright, so we got 4 little copper golems running around doing their thing. Now, of course, we've got even more stuff that we want to do. Oh, and a pigman. Let me clean up this area a bit. Alright, so we have 4 new game rules here. We have a new particle effect, we have a new recipe change, and we have that little end thing I was going to go over. So first, allow travel through nether portals. This will basically make it so I can't go through nether portals. So you'll see this right here. Nothing's going to happen. I did turn my audio down for the sake of your ears, but we also have the PvP false game rule, which basically means that you can't fight anyone. PvP is disabled. Basically, what Mojang did was they said, hey, server.properties has these things. Well, you can now disable them with a game rule. And I think this is honestly a lot better for most of these. I'll talk about the one I have issue with. But we also have spawner blocks enabled. Now, I don't know what this means, because, like, I can still place these. I don't know if they mean that, like, they won't do anything? Okay, that's very cool. Yeah, I hadn't actually experimented with that one, but that's really cool. I can turn audio up a little bit. But then we finally have spawn monsters, and if this is false, I believe it means that hostile mobs cannot spawn. Yeah, that's what it does. So, you can still spawn them in, but they won't spawn naturally. Though, that does make a point that if you set the difficulty to peaceful, and you try to summon a hostile mob, it will actually tell you monsters cannot be summoned in peaceful difficulty, and the spawn eggs will get a red subtext that will tell you disabled in peaceful, which is really nice. I think this is a really nice change. You can just kind of see this with all of them here. We got the bogged, of course. Nothing. But if I turn it back to difficulty, not dialogue, difficulty normal, you'll see I can spawn them in. And now I've got a burning bog. I should probably get rid of that. Alright, there we go. So yeah, very, very cool. And then we have Copper Fire Flame as a brand new particle effect. Although, you might be wondering, hey, I thought you said there was a game rule you were going to bring up. And there is. Game rule, command blocks enabled. If I turn this off, watch the particle. It disappears. No more particle effect, no command blocks work. And if you actually read the thing for it, it should explain why. So let's turn it back on to true. Oh, shoot. That's not what I meant. Anyways. Yeah, it'll tell you it still worked. I thought it wouldn't. I thought it would explain that the command block was off. But basically, your command blocks won't work anymore. And, yeah, you can disable them. But here's my big issue with it. Okay, so, Mojang, here's my big problem. If I'm on a server, and I have to opt 10 people to help with a build, and I'm trusting them to do the right things, and then it gets out of hand, I have no way to really stop them apart from banning them. Because before I could go to the server.properties file, which they can't access unless they hack my server or I give them backend, but they couldn't access that file. But now they can literally run this command as operators as much as they want. Yes, you can de-op them, but still, if they put a bunch of Ender Dragon summoning command blocks, my server's kaput and I can't do anything about it. I really think Mojang should actually put this back in as a server.property. I think the other ones are fine. I actually like the PvP game rule. I think that's a lot more easy to use and a lot more fun to mess around with and troll people with. But the command blocks game rule needs to be turned back into a server.properties feature because it is going to backfire. Now, maybe the Minecraft server community is dead enough that it won't come up, but that's at least what I worry about, especially on servers that are smaller and don't have permissions set up. things could get really bad. And I do think that Mojang need to rethink the game rule. That's my thought. You know, I like all the other game rules. I even like that game rule, but I'm just saying it could backfire in the long run. So I would really advise Mojang to think about it a bit more. But on a lighter note, we have the copper trapdoor recipe. Copper trapdoors are a lot cheaper. You see, before you used to have to take 6 of them, and you go like this, and you get, oh, not a copper trapdoor, you get copper bars. Well, that's because they changed it, and you now get 1 per copper or 4 copper. Now, I admit that's a little bit expensive, but I believe if we go to a stone cutter, we can actually get these even cheaper. And actually, that's a fun thought. Like, what of the new blocks can you get in a stone cutter? Alright, so obviously that doesn't work. Okay, so you can't get the trapdoors in here. I don't like that. I don't like that very much. But still, you get the idea. New copper stuff, new cheaper recipes, all because of 1.21.9, the Copper Age. But as I said, we're not done. We've got a couple things to look at. We're going to go to the end first, just to get it over with, and then we'll come back and we'll do some small little technical quality of life things. Alright, and you see it. That is an end flash. This is the new feature, that you will randomly get flashes that will come up every now and then, and they will kind of tint everything. This is part of Vibrant Visuals, which obviously is not done. Vibrant Visuals are not done, but this is kind of the first introduction of them. So they'll just come about every once in a while. Oh, there's another one. And you can have a little fun game of trying to find where they are. And it's kind of nice. I don't think these are needed, honestly. I don't get the point of them. But hey, if people want an end update, I guess it's a teeny bit of one. The end doesn't look so boring, because I'll admit the sky does look kind of boring. It's just kind of a, you know, purple fog. But now you got these little purple things going around. And I don't think you can actually, like, do a particle effect with these. I would love it if you could. But as far as I know, there's no new particle effect with these. But still, you get the idea that you can actually do some fun stuff with... Yeah, you kind of get these fun little end booms. What are they called? Forget the name of them, but you get these end flashes, and I like them, and they're cool, but let's go back through the portal. Alright, and we're back at the start of the world. I don't even know where my showcase went, but it's fine, because the last things we're doing don't require a showcase. Instead, they require keyboard. First, let's go over to controls. So they've added an option where you can change the window ticks in where double tapping the forward key activates sprint. I'm not going to mess with any of these things because I don't want to mess up my whole game, but this is now an option. Also, if you go over to mouse settings, you can now invert mouse on the X and the Y, but you couldn't do the X before, so that's been added. Accessibility, I believe, had a new option added. I don't remember. Oh yeah, this is it. Hide sky flashes. We also have contrast outlines. So this basically, for people that need it, it's just a higher contrast outline. This could actually be really useful for me, as my vision isn't the greatest. So, like, if I'm in an area with, like, a bunch of dark blocks and I can't kind of see what's going on, well, now I can just have this little high contrast outline here. And I should also mention, on the topic of accessibility changes, they have changed all the die textures to have unique shapes. Now, I don't like this little brown thing on the bottom. Like, I guess that's more realistic, but I don't like it. But still, every single die texture is now unique. And I think it's kind of a cool change. Like I said, not my favorite. I don't really like all these textures, but I appreciate the thought. Even if I wouldn't pick these textures, I appreciate that there was the thought process of, hey, we can make this more visually appealing to people that need it, people who are colorblind. I think this is a great change. And if you want the original texture back, then I'm pretty sure you can use the programmer art. Don't mind all the stuff. We'll talk about that stuff in another video. You might have just gotten a hint or two at projects. Probably just one, but we'll talk about it soon. I've started recording something, so we'll begin that in a few days. But that is a lot of the stuff. Like I said, you also have, you know, maybe a new audio feature in here. I don't really remember because they've just added so many things. They did rename the subtitles option to closed captions, and this literally just does the same thing. Like, oh, breaking grass, breaking bush, you know what I mean? Like, this does the exact same thing. So nothing too major here. Just the idea that Mojang are trying to make things more accessible for people who need them. And I think that's a really great thing that Mojang is focusing on. But, of course, we have to talk about the last feature. And then I need to tear into the Minecraft Live announcements because I have some deep thoughts. Not really deep, but, oh, I'm going to deep cut them. Alright. F3+F6 opens this brand new menu. Not sugarcoating it. This is it. This menu is probably one of the best features in this update. This legitimately lets you configure so much. You can choose whether you have an option on in F3, always. You can do all sorts of things. You can have your TPS. You can have your simple performance impactors. You can have your player selection position. I don't even know what this is, but we're going to turn it on to always. Let's just turn everything on to always, just so you can see the pure amount of customization. Look at this. Still going. Like, this is really laggy, but I have everything on. But obviously, I can go back to the beginning. So, F3+F6, performance profile. Or I can go back to default. But, like I said, I like having the biome that I'm in. I like having my FPS. I like having my game version. I like having light levels. I like having, you know, all sorts of different things. You can now choose where these display, and it's so awesome. It is so awesome that Mojang have added this. This is the kind of thing we download mods for. And I just think it's so cool that it's in the game. That it is in the game. Vanilla Minecraft, no mods. I'm in a snapshot, for Pete's sakes. I don't know where the snapshot thing is. Oh, right there. Yeah, no, this is huge, and I love it. But, like I said, there is one more thing to discuss, and that is the announcement of the next drop. Alright, so we're in the bottom of the sea here, and the reason I'm here, well, let me actually give myself some dolphin grace, so I can actually move around a bit. The reason we're here in the bottom of the sea is because Mojang have announced that the next drop will be called Mounts of Mayhem. And the drop is going to focus on adding new mounts to the game, adding spears, the zombie horse will be in survival. All really cool features. I want to make that clear. I don't hate any of the features of this drop. I think this is really cool that Mojang are adding all of these things. With that said, I hate Minecraft Live. I kind of actually hate it. Because Mojang have made it from being this big community experience to a live stream to literally a YouTube video recorded that gets everything leaked out in advance. I really don't like what Mojang is doing. And I don't know who to blame. I don't know if it's Mojang. I don't know if it's Microsoft. I don't want to blame one specific person, because I don't think it's anyone's specific fault. It's clearly a team decision. But if Mojang care about the community, then listen to me as a community member and everyone else. This is a terrible system. I legit had a church camp this past weekend, and I was going to miss Minecraft Live, and sure, I was wanting to go on the church camp thing more. But normally I'd be like, oh, that's really sad. You know, I wish I wasn't. I didn't care. The whole week, when I talked to people about it, not the whole week, but when I talked to people about it, I was very clear that I don't care. This is Mojang's fault. Mojang, in the effort of trying to make updates better, of trying to make the community more happy has actually kind of stabbed themselves in the foot because this isn't working. I like the copper features. Let's make that clear. These are cool. I like having all these items in the game. I like the torches. I like the lanterns. But this is all kind of garbage. Not the features themselves, but just the whole concept. That every 3 months, every 3 to 5 months, we get a few features. And sure, they may be very, very well developed, but I would rather have a plethora of features that take me a while to learn and get to know than have one feature and a bunch of small little ones that I don't care about. Do you really think I'm going to make copper armor in my Let's Play? Do you really think I will? Now, sure, maybe for the fact of, oh, I'm playing survival, of course, I have to make copper armor, it's a brand new item. But apart from that, it's terrible. I really, really hate the Minecraft Live system. And I haven't watched the full live stream, but there were theories that we could get a Minecraft Dungeons 2 announcement. I was thinking we'd get a Minecraft movie announcement, you know, for a sequel. We didn't get any of that. All we got was release date, and hey guys, here's Mounts of Mayhem. And it comes out in basically 3 months. So basically, it's going to be rushed. Sure, the features won't be rushed because they've been developing them, but it's going to feel like the bare minimum, and I don't think Mojang really cares. I don't know what happened between 1.16 and 121.9. I don't fully know what happened, because I have to sympathize with Mojang. I give them full, let me make it clear. I don't hate Mojang. I give them full, I don't dislike anything they did for the Caves and Cliffs update. I may dislike it a little bit, that it was split, but I understand it. I understand that it was the COVID pandemic, everyone was having to work or stay at home, everyone had to be worried about health. I get things were difficult. And I understand that update had to be split, and part of the consequence was it kind of coming in pieces, and maybe some features were too big and they had to move them back. But the difference is, that was 2020 through 2021 and 22. But even 2020 to 2021. By 2022, things were kind of back to normal. And I kind of hate the Wild update. I kind of think it's one of the worst updates we've had in years. Not the content itself, but the lack of content. When you tell me it's a Wild update, and it's just an updated swamp biome and the Deep Dark, I don't think that's a Wild update. I think you just added 2 biomes and nothing else. But, to back up a minute, Mojang, they realized they made a mistake. They realized they overpromised with the Wild update, and so they gave us 120. That was a lot smaller, but their idea was we maybe promised a little bit too much, so we're going to not promise as much, and then when we do release it, it'll be a big surprise, what you get. And then they went to 121, and 121 still followed the system, but we got things like the Ominous Bottle, or the Breeze. And these things were exciting. We also got the Mace. These things were exciting. To wake up every single Wednesday morning and be like, what are Mojang going to add? What do the teasers mean? And then to find out, oh, it's a new weapon. Oh, it's a new mob. Oh, it's a new trial. It was really exciting. I don't have that feeling anymore. I don't. I'm sure excited to check out the snapshot, but it's like, I'm excited to check out the bare minimum. That's how it feels. Because these updates have gone from being an exciting moment, and yes, of course the game is raining while I'm complaining. I can really tell that someone's upset on the developer side of things. But the fact is, I, as a player, find these updates annoying. I mean, not even just for me, but really, Mojang? Okay, fall, winter, whatever. You're gonna have a winter drop, you're gonna have a fall drop, whatever. Make them small, whatever. But the big summer updates, You know why I hated 1.21.6? Because it was literally a happy ghast, a dried ghast, and better leads. That was it. And that was after 121 last year. That was after an update that the community loved. No, 121 isn't perfect. Yes, some things could have been expanded on. But this update, I see it, and I'm like, Mojang, what were you doing? This is not exciting. You couldn't even add a brand new creature to the game. Yes, you added a brand new mob on a species basis, I guess, like on a technical basis. Like, yes, the Happy Ghast is a separate entity, but you couldn't think of like a flying bird or something. You had to reskin a mob that we already have. Yes, you gave it more functionality, but you still get my point. And yes, I'm complaining about things, and yes, I'm kind of putting a downer mood to this. But Mojang, I just really want to be excited for updates again. I want to be excited for Minecraft Lives again. I want to feel like if I miss a Minecraft Live, it's really devastating. And I know that's hard when, you know, the game's for kids and you don't want kids to be upset. But you put them on YouTube anyways. I don't know, I just wish Mojang would do more. I just wish Mojang would almost take a year off updates and say, we realize what we're doing is wrong, we're going to think about things, and come back with something better. And maybe that's their plan, but I need to see that plan. If you tell me, hey, we need to slow things down so we can give you the biggest update possible or something really cool, that's fine. But I don't feel like they're doing that. People are assuming they're working on something big, and I'm like, probably, but they haven't said we're leading up to the next 116. They've just been saying we're going to do the drop system with big updates every now and then. And the fact that we don't have a schedule for that is what's really upsetting. That Mojang have not provided any form of outline or schedule. I don't need calendar dates. I just need to know that at some point you're going to stop the 121 patches and go to 122. I just really, Mojang, want things to be different. I really do. That's what I genuinely want. I want to genuinely feel like Minecraft Live is an experience, and I get the funds and the money for an actual big live event. And you know what? In the world of post-COVID, big live events aren't as popular as they used to be. I know they still are really, really popular, but going from 100, we maybe went to 50% of excitement, or 70%. I understand Mojang don't want to put the money in for an event that might not sell out, and especially for a game that I don't think is as popular as it used to be. Maybe I'm wrong, but Mojang, please listen to the community and stop the drops. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for my Minecraft 1.21.9 The Copper Age drop video and my rant on Minecraft Live at the end of the video. I actually don't want to call it a rant because it's not like I'm trying to start at Mojang hating everything. I mean, yes, I am hating a lot of the stuff they're doing, but I understand they are people too, and I understand that Mojang is trying to make good decisions. They think this is what the community wants, but they just need to realize it isn't. It isn't. I mean, look at the reception of the Nether update, look at the reception of the Aquatic update, Village and Pillage. I mean, anyways, I don't want to get into it anymore. I've said my piece, but I thank you guys for watching, and if Mojang's watching, I thank you for listening. Take care, guys, and goodbye for now.